Welcome everybody and thanks for joining. In today's video, we're going to talk about building dashboard. And we're going to start building a branded dashboard in this case. So we're going to start from scratch in in this video. So, well, first, you already know we're going to use Python as a programming language, and we're going to use Caspian, the framework, and then we're going to use Maddex, which is the which going to have the components where we're going to be reused. In this case, reusable components, same like Shadcn does. So I'm going to use Caspian, Maddex, and next section we're going to use this tool, the CSS grid generator tool, which is going to help us to build the grid layout, let's say the dashboard layout, how the way we want, how we want to build the shapes in this case. So first of all, let's say my dashboard have three sections. In this case, we can have the top side menu, or we can have the sidebar. So in this case, we can have the sidebar this way or this way. The same idea comes, and then we put the sidebar down here, and then this is going to be the page content. As you can see, it's very flexible using this tool, and then you can build maybe this, like say, the right hand side, but I'm going to just have three sides in this case: the top, the sidebar, and then the page content. So what I'm going to do is, after I already have this idea my how the dashboard layouts it's going to be, so I'm going to copy the code in this case, and let me open here. In this case, I'm going to use Gemini. Let me set to Pro for a little bit about styling UI, and I want a nice, like a little pretty looking good dashboard. So the next thing is paste in this case, and give a context to the artificial intelligence in this case. So I'm using Tailwind CSS, but I think before using this, what we're going to do is all right, before going there, we're going to come and copy this and install this. So I think I'm jump steps, but anyway, the same idea is, and this is going to be in this case in GitHub repo, so you can use this as a starter kit. So next video, we're going to start talking about how you can quick start, or let's say already having the dashboard, and you're going to say, I'm going to install a starter kit, and it's going to load the starter kit from GitHub, and we're going to learn all those things in next video. So dashboard, let's going to put Caspian dashboard. So this is going to be the Caspian dashboard. This is going to be the name. So backing, no, Tailwind, yes, no, Prisma ORM. Afterward, we can install Prisma ORM. But first, we're going to focus on the UI. So we're going to say no for now. So it's going to start installing the Caspian dashboard in this case. So once it installed, we're going to start using in this case, the Maddex component UI. So in this case, as you can see, we have this, and when we come to the installation, we got Maddex global. I already installed globally, but I'm going to use in this case maybe I'm going to add a button and things like that if you want it locally in this case, but I already have installed globally, so I'm going to use the globally in this case. So okay, here it's creating the virtual environment for Python in this case. Okay, so what's new in Caspian documentation? Well, I have mentioned that some new things in template syntax in this case that was before was not so clear what was the templating syntax in this case. And remember, templating syntax, it's using Jinja too in this case under the hood. So what we are doing is just putting this template tag for how quite because I know that they have ideas of doing the Jinja style, but in HTML it's like it's going when you format the order is quite complex, you know. So that's why I decide to transform the the template, in this case the Caspian if in Jinja. This way it looks quite harder in this case, but it's have its own directive, no? So this way we can have this template in order in HTML. And the thing is that when we do, like say, the template and Caspian conditional, it's going to transform in this way in the Jinja style. That's all what it's doing. That is the template syntax. So that was being updated in this case. So okay, let's see if okay, project already installed. Let's get in, cd, and then open. And we're going to close this, and now we already have open. So always, like always, first what we have to do is npm run dev, in this case npm run, which we need to run to confirm that the project is running. So yes, project is running and we're good to go now. So first what we're going to do is to focus, in this case, creating our dashboard. Dashboard in this case, as you can see, we mentioned that this is the layout, in this case the template. Let's say the template is going to look like this. We're going to have a top bar menu and the sidebar and the page content. So we're going to copy and paste here, but before we doing that, we're going to install, in this case, Maddex components, no? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to install a component, in this case a button component. So I'm going to say Maddex add button, and it's going to automatically, it's going to identify that Maddex haven't been installed in this project, so it's going to start installing from the beginning. So I'm going to say install. As you can see, it start installing everything from scratch, and here the global CSS already, I think it's already been replaced. Okay, this is good. So what I'm going to do is that, okay, so here, as you can see, I already have this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click to the global CSS. I'm going to copy this, the content in this case, and I'm going to go in Gemini, below the HTML. In this case, I'm going to put the what this is going to be layout.html. So this is going to be the layout HTML and globals CSS. I'm going to paste it. So the layout HTML is the content of the dashboard. So what I'm going to do, I'm using Tailwind CSS. Let's say I'm using the version 4, so I'm going to say that I'm using the version 4. I'm using CN, so see the file, in this case globals.css, and we're going to use this, in this case, lucid icons, because remember we have icons, in this case pp icons. It's almost the same like lucid icons, but the difference is that this is going to have a component for Caspian, no? That is the only difference, because it's going to install SVG. SVG, yes, it's SVG. So we're going to install this. But how artificial intelligence aren't know everything about the in this case pp icons. So what we're going to do is to tell that use the lucid icons database, no, because they already know about lucid icons. So we're going to say lucid icons JSX style, and I'm going to indicate how to use. So in JSX search, and I'm going to say class that you can use this way, size and for, just for example proposal. So in this case, I think this is the almost complete context which I think artificial intelligence needs. So now my content is going to be that create a stunning dashboard. So then I'm going to say follow the layout.html structure, the sidebar, sidebar and page content should be scrollable. And what I'm going to do is, instead of 1, 2, so this is going to be top menu, and this is the sidebar, and here the number 3 is the page content. So this way I'm going to get complete dashboard using artificial intelligence, because remember he needs the context, how to follow which technologies are you using to get the idea and follow the pattern which you are suggesting. So in this case, I think this is a good prompt. So let's see what he's come up with. But for now, what we're going to do is that I'm going to start creating the rows. So first, as you can see, this is the index. In this case, I'm not going to touch this section, but I'm going to come, and here I'm going to say dashboard, and here I'm going to create first I'm going to create the layout HTML, which is going to contain the dashboard layout, no? So here I'm going to come now, let's see, I think this man gone with React, so let me fix here. Scrollable, okay, I think he doesn't. Okay, in HTML, let me tell that, let me see now if he confirmed. So now here let's say I'm going to go to the dashboard route, and as you can see, there is for 4. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create an index.html, which is going to be the page content. So I'm just going to say hello from dashboard. That's it. So now the dashboard is going to become a row, and well, as you can see, there is no 404 because the row exists. The problem is that we don't know how to integrate in the layout of the page. But well, let's wait if this man come and finish. Again, I think this is not the prompt I'm following. So okay, okay, I'm going to explicitly say I'm using HTML. I think this is where he getting confused. Using HTML, use strictly HTML. HTML, Tailwind, CSS. That's just for to have a dashboard. So in this case, what I'm going to do is that yeah, I think now he going. This is the third modification. Okay. Anyway, yeah, with his things. So next thing that we already have this layer, as you can see, index file. It's already inside dashboard. That means to say the dashboard become already a row, and the layout now needs to integrate the page content. No, so let's see if he's already okay. Now he understand. Okay, no problem. What I need is just the body, in this case body content, the body section. So let wait he finish his job. So okay, I think he already Lucy icon, yes, but we're going to sometimes things just not going to work as you expect. We're going to copy the lucid icon just for example, because we're going to replace, I'm not going to upload this, but I want city icons and then remove. So I'm going to just copy for save. Okay, as you can see, I already have my dashboard. In this case, the top bar, and the top bar is too got the height is very, it's too big, but yes, the context, and as you can see, working. So what I want to do is that the height of the the top menu should be smaller. I can indicate to the AI to make the height. So here, as you can see, we don't scroll span. Let's see if we explicitly declare the height. It should be about maybe 30. H 2. Yes. 24. Let's see. I'm just guessing, huh? So 18. In this case, until you get the desired result, well, you want to say, let's say, okay, I think this is almost what I'm waiting for. So you say row span, border, flex. Okay, this is using Greek call, so it's already have a gap of 4. So you're going to the gap of this. So even if we have, let's say this, you're going to, as you can see, the content, and the content is over here, and there is the gap between this. So I'm going to say that should use a height in this case. What? Yes. Okay. Use. Uh, let's say maybe in this case, what I want specifically is that the height of the top bar, top menu should be close to, let's say it's the height of 8 14, yeah, was 14, yes, 14 ish. So in this case, it's going to start generating. Let's wait a little while, but afterward, what I'm going to say that is that when it generates, we're going to create a um, child layer to this way that the menu in this case, let's blend the content, and now, okay, let's wait. Yes, it's generating the HTML now. Okay, the intention here, as you can see, is that we are playing with artificial intelligence and getting the desired result, because um, I'm designing how I want, and as when I get the the structure of the, in this case, the structure of the HTML, we are good to go. So I think this can't be the result what I'm waiting for. I don't know, but let's give a try. Okay, yes. Now the next thing is that we now the all let's say the whole page it's crawlable. We need to fix that in this case. So um only page content and the sidebar should be scrollable, not page. Okay, it fixed the top menu, but now we have another issue, which is that the whole page is scrollable, which is not what I want. So I chat him again and referring what I'm waiting for. Now it's going to start, let's say, working on the, the new idea. So nowadays, this is the way of developing a website, or let's say if you want to build a dashboard. But as you can see, building a dashboard with Caspian, it's that easy as you want to how you want, you just say how the UI should be look like, and you're going to use, let's say, your own branding system, things like that. So and as you can see, the nice way of working with Maddex is that you already have your global CSS, which artificial intelligence already trained with all these Shadcn colors, so you have that on your side. So now let's see what about save. Okay, no, this is not the way I'm thinking. I think he lost the context of the main idea. So I'm going to indicate again, follow this, but sidebar and page content should be scroll level. That's that. But here I'm going to say that top menu bar page content. I think there is okay. Generate just the body content. No body content. I think we need this class in our body tag. Yes, I think, but I'm just going to give a try here. So let's see. Yes, that was, but I'm not going to use that. But there we go. Yes. So the good part is that we can do this without going, let's say, complicating our dashboard in this case. But let's say if he get, in this case, let me see, and I think he get the idea, but okay. Yes, it's generating this because I think we need the body content, but let me wait, save this, save, let's see. Okay, yes. Okay, so we have two bodies now. So let's remove this and turn it into div. That's it. Let's see now. Yes, looking good. Now, as you can see, we already have our dashboard as how look and feel, how we want, and things like that. So now let's say this content, it's the page content. So this is going to be changing depending on the navigation. Let's say I'm going to analytics, customers, and this should be showing a different content depending on the page content. So what I'm going to do is that I already have my layout, so I know that in this case, coming in the main, which it's going to have the page content. So I'm going to select all the page content and I'm going to pass here paste, and when I save, as you can see, the page content goes away. But now to bring him back again, the easiest way is that we're going to say that I'm going to pass the children, in this case children, which is going to be and save. Remember, this is Ginger, in this case Ginger in Python. So we have the page content now. So what next we're going to do is that we're going to create customers or analytics. I think we're going to create both. So let's say now analytics and index.html. So this is going to be dashboard child page. Easy as this. We're just going to put here, I'm going to say hello from analytics. Now in my layout, what I'm going to do is that search for analytics, and here I'm going to say that I have dashboard, but I have analytics available. So easy as that, and just select that. Now when I come to analytics, I click analytics, I get hello from analytics. Easy as that. now I already have my dashboard. The problem is that we have a static sidebar. So the the good part of Caspian is that I can separate sections. So this is going to have its own section, own component. The top menu is going to be a component too. But let's deal with the sidebar first. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get from this aside, in this case aside, all the section of the aside, including the aside. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to come to the app, in this case app level. I'm going to create a directory name components, and I'm going to set sidebar. Remember, it's Python file, so Caspian com, that's it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to return the HTML. So it's going to be sidebar.html. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to return render. And when you are using components, remember, if you're going to load HTML, load it this way, HTML, and then you're going to use a dunder file. So file, well, if you want pass props, you can pass the props, but I'm not going to pass any props in this case, because let's say it's a static HTML file. So I'm going to save everything and come back, and I don't have any sidebar. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come in my section, and I'm going to say sidebar. Okay, I have my sidebar, save, and refresh. I get my sidebar again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is that we need that the sidebar should be, let's say, a list of items. In this case, menu items, no? So instead of having a static text, so we're going to use a loop. So control click, and I go to the component, and then I'm going to say go to sidebar. In this case, as you can see, it's already already placed. Okay, the rule is that if you're going to use a reactive, in this case the menu, so what we're going to do is that just we're going to create a menu that's going to have the name and the icons. That's all. So we need to mention that this sidebar, it's going to turn into it's already a component. So we're going to use this inside this sidebar component. So we're going to have our script tag. So in our script tag, what we're going to need is a loop. And so I'm going to have a sidebar items. So sidebar items, and it is state, and so we're going to have items which is going to, well, mostly need let's put a key ID, in this case one, and the, let's say the title, in this case title of the sidebar is going to be overview. Start from overview, the icon, okay, I think I'm going to do the tree of the dashboard, dashboard, analytics, and customers. So it's going to be a dashboard. Dashboard, Okay, dashboard, analytic, and customers. Okay, so now we have our sidebar. What I want to do is that I'm going to come and say this is the overview. So this is the nav items, and I need this anchor tag. So I'm going to declare template close the dashboard. I'm going to use this. So before the item in sidebar items. So now I'm going to use the item that href and item that title. As you can see, I already have my dashboard, analytics, and customers. Easy as that. I already have a dynamic, in this case, dynamic. But the icon, as you can see, the icon is not working because remember, the icon it's going to render in when the JavaScript is already launched. But what I'm going to do is that we're going to solve this in a different way. But my intention and idea is that we already have a dynamic dashboard. So let's say, okay, before moving, I'm going to do that. I need this bar chart and the name of the icons, what I'm going to do. So this is the analytics and customers. So what I'm going to do the easiest way, and then we're going to do it in Python way, because in Python it's more smooth and fast, but we're going to learn how to do it in front end, and then we're going to migrate to the back end to do things more easy in easy way. So what I'm going to do is that here in this case I need a host because the dashboard was, let's say, home. I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to come and let's say I'm going to have a host, in this case host icon and string. Okay, so in this case icon, host icon, and I save. And then what I'm going to do is that when I come to the template, instead of having these lucid icons, what I'm going to do is that item icon React style. And as you can see, we already have our icon here. So what we're going to do is that we're going to use the same class, this class size 4. So we're going to pass now to the icon itself because it's a string. So we pass and we get the same class which it's using. No? So now we have the idea of how we're going to use the template or the sidebar items. No? So we got the items. Now we can say that we need a bar chart, in this case bar chart. So bar, okay, this is almost looking the same. So I'm going to come and I'm going to advance cons bar icon, and then this, save, and I have in this case I'm going to say that this icon now it's going to use the variable icon, and I already get the analytics. So this way, as you can see, this way we already getting the icons in string. But this is almost front-end solution because remember we need more dynamic way. So here where Python's it's going to solve this issue about having um, like say static icons, things like that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to come to the sidebar and we're going to start rendering the icons in this case. So we're going to create a list in this case, a list which is going to hold everything what we need. So let me okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to create a function. So we're going to create a function which I'm going to say, well, normally Python developer, maybe we want to put that it going to be private. So let's say sidebar items. So as you can see, I already getting the same idea because yeah, let's say you already know what you want to do. But now the issue is that the the problem that we don't need the name of the part of the icons. We need the icon itself. So for that, what we're going to do is that we're going to install the icons in our project. So you can come to documentation and here you can say npm install globally or only for this project. But I already done doing completely globally. So what I'm going to do is that pp icons add, I need in this case the host. So I need the host and I need the other one was bar, in this case bar chart, yes, bar chart. The next one was customers, but I think the icon name is users. So users, yes, this, let's see, yes, this one, users. So I'm going to install this, enter. Now I can direct call to the function and get these icons. So what I'm going to do is that let's come define JSON. We're going to get a JSON which is going to get the item itself, in this case the item. We're going to get the item and then it's going to start, let's say, the importing the icon. So the first icon which we need is that the host. So we're going to import from src that it's going to be in the library, in this case lib, and you're going to find it pp icons, and then we're going to need the host, in this case import host. So this way we already have available host icon in our Python file. So let's say box of host, and so in this case say sidebar items, okay. 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 So what we are trying to do is that we're going to create in this case the of yes, return of. Trying to create in this case. So the easiest way that is that I'm going to save this and then I'm going to load here. I'm going to say sidebar items and it's going to get the sidebar items and I'm going to pass in this case rendering okay sidebar items. Okay, now I already have these sidebar items. I'm going to get rid of this, and tons sidebar items, JSON in this case. It's coming from Python, so I'm going to get its name. It's sidebar items. It's turned to be JSON, no? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to log out this, log out. Okay, component object has no attribute to JSON. Off. Yes. I'm going to copy paste some part of the section. Okay. Now the okay, I think this completes. Let's see. Yes, it's complete. Now we already have, as you can see, we have our data in this case. Okay, the way what we are doing it's very easy in this case. Let me remove this. So we are importing the icons. We are passing here in this case. We are creating a function which is going to be dynamic sidebar dynamic, which we can come and add more as you want, and then we're going to do like say child. Even we can add that idea too, because we're going to load it's a child menu, things like that. So in this case, I'm passing the variable, in this case, side items, and in my front end, as you can see, this is a self-contained um, component. So I'm passing sidebar items. This is coming from Python, and I'm logging out in this case. I'm logging out here, as you can see here. Now the idea is that we're just going to get the sidebar items and pass to the reactive, and now we get our items. The issue is that we put here name, and in this case here we put title. So just we're going to put name here, and we get the menu items in this case. So the next thing is that we need to put, like, say, when the menu is selected and not selected, easy as that. So what I'm going to do is that we have this part of the class which is going to be when it's active, no? So what we need is that we're going to come here, cons current URL, and we have this. So let's print this, and we're going to see that this is the analytics dashboard, and if we go to the dashboard, we get the dashboard location in this case, but we got analytics. So what we're going to do is that order the sidebar section. So in this case we have was yes dashboard, which is going to be dashboard host, and that way, and we know we have dashboard and dashboard analytics. So now we have our menu setup, dynamic, reactive, so on. So this is customers. Okay. From here, gosh, from here it's going to start current URL, item href. Okay, so when it's not active, we're going to use this section. Okay, easy as this. As you can see, in the sidebar, you just click and it's automatically get activated by itself, because JavaScript already knows that the current URL where we're navigating is dashboard, and when it's analytics, it's going to select the analytics, and when we go to the customers, we haven't created the customers route. So let's go back, but you get the idea. This is the easiest way we can, let's say, create a sidebar menu, but reactive, dynamic, and now you can do many other things you want. But as you can see, the way of creating or building, I gone the way, like say, the building of the front end, and then go to the Python. Maybe in other terms, if we want, if I would I, like say, don't show you how it works, I could gone direct to Python. But the idea is to explain how pulse point works, and then you can make it more dynamic reactive way. So I'm going to get rid of this section because I don't need it anymore. And now, as you can see, I already have all the look and feel of the before. And now I can have, like, say, projects, website, things like that. But as you can see, the idea is already completed in this case. So now let's, in this case, we have analytics, which only have one row. Now let's create the tab bar menu component, and that's how we're going to have a name. I'm going to upload this project to GitHub so you can download it in this case and test it in this case, because it's going to become starter kits. So we're going to build, because we're going to, I think we're going to build a login page and sign up page, things like that. But you are already going to start from having a dashboard. So you're going to, when you install in Caspian, you can say you're going to use a starter kit and you're going to use the Caspian dashboard, and it's going to have already the dashboard we building currently. Okay, so now, well, let's just create the, in this case, the top menu. So top menu that Python. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy the header in this case, cut it, but cut it, top menu. I'm going to build the HTML section. So top menu dot HTML paste, and now in top menu, what you're going to say, Caspian component, and I don't need all of this thing. I'm not going to pass any props, but I need to return a rendered HTML and then the file. That's all what you're going to do. So now top menu still there because I haven't saved this. I'm going to save, and now top menu go away, but we're going to get him back and say top menu, and now you have a component. So this component, its responsibility is to manage everything what comes in the section of this of the top menu. And the sidebar component, it's responsible to managing or controlling the sidebar menu. And in this case, the page content, which we are already in this case, it's going to be the rows. So easy as that. To sum up, in this case, we build a dashboard which, in this case, if we would have gone straight to the dashboard and building from Python, well, it's never going to take the time. It's not going to be wasted. But the idea was show how to build the sidebar and how pulse point was working reactively. Okay, so to sum up, in this case, the dashboard, in this case, is the route. The layout, it's the container, let's say the template, and here you're going to put the pages, the page content. So now one thing which I want to show you is that I'm going to copy this and come to analytics and paste this here, and this is a small like a CSS trick trick to know. Okay, I'm going to put the scroll down here, and I'm going to say I'm going to analytics, and as you can see, the scroll aren't going to the top. It's not resetting. So the thing is that when you have those kind of issue in Tailwind CSS, you just say smooth scroll smooth. So now we are in analytics. The scroll is going to be way to the bottom, and then I go to the dashboard, and it's going to get reset the scroll. And same for analytics. I click hello from analytics, and now you have a page content which not only dynamic, but it's crawling automatically when the content gets loaded. But we just using one class in this case, behavior. Okay, so that's going to be our first um, dashboard in this case, because in next video we're going to almost complete this project. So we're going to add our brand over here, and let's say what we put over here and things like this. Going to be, let's say when you click, it's going to be, let's say, drop down menu, and when we click here, another drop down menu which is going to have the maybe the username, the profile, and the close session or logo, things like that. And well, we already have our overview dashboard, and maybe we can have the menu children, no, because maybe we want to have a tree of menu. So then the parent menu have a child, and then you put the child and you set the icon, things like that. But well, to start, we already have our basic dashboard. So in repository, I'm going to push this, so you can download it in this case, and we'll test it. You just copy, install the dependencies, and that's all. So in the next video, what we're going to do is that we're going to get the we're going to start using a starter kit. So using this same starter kit. So I'm going to save and publish. It's going to be public. So Caspian. Okay, open. Okay, so as you can see, here's the URL in this case. Here, the Steel Ninja code, and then you come to the Caspian dashboard, and you got the code. The good thing is that we in the next video, which is we're going to do, is that the login section, which is going to have the authentication section. So when you install in Caspian, just you're going to say that you need with the documentation, which starter kits, because this was already pulse point metadata. No. There is no starter kit documentation, but I think I'm going to prepare for starter kit documentation, because Caspian have support from the beginning here, have support for starter kit, but I haven't introduced. This is the first video we are talking about starter kit. So the next video, it's going to it's going to have its own documentation. In this case, in the core concept, I think it's going to be here. I think for managing the starter kits. So going to install starter kits, so on. So well, in this case, we're going to know that exists this project, which we are going to use from the GitHub repo. So if there are any question, well, we can discuss about any doubts. Okay, any doubts? Question? No one? Okay, so let me show you the good part of using Maddex in this case. How Maddex use Shadcn globals colors CSS, what we can do is just come and let's say I'm going to start working with this blue color, and then you get the code, copy the code, go to globals in this case, and paste, save, and now you going to get your menus in the color of what you are putting in this case of this section. So let's put another color. I think this is for the dark we need for this. Yes, now yes. Okay, now it's going to work because that was for dark theme. Okay, and for dark it's very easy, but we're going to see it in other videos. Okay, now we have our brand in different color. As you can see, the icons look different, things going different, so on, so on. So that is the easiest part when you are using Maddex and things like that. So I'm going to turn everything how it was. Okay. Okay. So thanks to you all joining. So anything, any question, if there are any before leaving? No one? Any doubts? Okay, happy coding and see you in the next video, which we're going to talk more about how you can get this template, let's say the starter kits, which you're going to just starter kit and install, and you already have your dashboard and you can just start adding your brand color, and you already have a branded dashboard in this case. But it's going to be in the next video, so see you and happy coding.